Hi peeps, here we go. Now as you can see, the taxi is outside, and for those of you that are clever enough and guessed, I actually drove it outside. Yes, I got in it, hit the button, put it in gear and drove it out. Magic, eh? Just going through some of the things that we've done for it. Obviously, first thing is the engine. It's a Rover 3.5 V8, as you know, and it's got the standard SU setups with a standard airbox. This is a bit of a phallic symbol, but I need something to keep the rain out. Radiator was just one I had hanging around the workshop. I had to fit a header tank because there's no filler cap on the radiator, and not that it does make it a bit easier for bleeding. The fans were the original fans on the original radiator that was sat at the back. They went in, so I used them. A point to note on these V8s, particularly these SU manifolds, is that bleed there. That is the highest water point on the engine, and you'll find on a lot of manifolds it's actually blanked off, and this leaves the air pocket at the top of the manifold and can cause you some running issues. Moving around the front, say my little man there, his eyes light up. This side, let's say standard on. There's a GPS that's going to sit on top of that, which you'll probably notice later. The guard was Lee's original guard. I've had to cut it down and work it a bit. Windscreen's in. The wipers I had to be a bit creative with to get them to actually swing. And these are 9-inch wipers that have been cut down to 7-inch, so they fit. And obviously welded back together. Moving down the side, not a lot. You can see it's got rear wheel arches on it. I've tried to keep them in the same sort of trim as what Lee had. The reason why I put them on is just to tone it down a bit. It is a bit wild, but they will come off if you pull them hard enough. They're actually slide on them 2 points. Not that I'm going to try. Also, of course, windows. They need to be restuck in. No change at the back, except we've got a reversion light up here with a buzzer in it. Oh yeah, and if you can see, there's a plastic skeleton of a bat there, and his eyes are going to be wired into the brake lights, so they actually light up with the brake light. Moving around, filler. So that's what Lee put on, but unfortunately he had a droop, like a U-bend, and it was a nightmare to actually fill up. So I've had to shorten that, so it simply comes out of this, drops straight across, and disappears into the tank. So the filler is slightly higher. You will notice it's got a sunroof. Hey! Well, I say a sunroof, it's the bottom end of a barrel, but it works. The reason why I put that on was because the windows only come down halfway. It's going to get bloody hot in there, and we need some airflow. But well, that's really it. I'm not going to waffle on too long. I was planning on taking it down the road, but we still have issues, i.e. the doors shut. Press the button and they will not open, no matter how much you try them. To open them, you've got to lift the door up and open them. Okay when you're outside the vehicle, but when you're inside the vehicle, you can't possibly open the door. So that's a little bit embarrassing. The seats I've changed. I still might change them seats again yet. But I just didn't like the Triumph Herald seats in them. And my mate that gives me a hand had a Triumph Herald and wanted a set of seats, so we've done a deal. Got to sort out some mirrors. I put these on and you can't see nothing, so I'm going to put a bit of a trucky mirror in there, or maybe a standard Land Rover mirror. The taxi light still needs a little bit of attention, but one little mod that I did find quite funny was the side repeaters. No harm in having a laugh, is there? Right, as you can see, the tray plates are on it, and it was ready to run down the road, but I can't really run it down with them doors. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They are normally adjusted via the locks here and here, but there's no movement in them. So I think the only thing I can really do is to space out the hinges at the bottom to try and get some clearance. One thing another thing that Lee mentioned, look at that for a door card. And we got another one on that side. Real fun, this car. Really, real creative and imaginary minds gone into it. And until you actually see the car and stand next to the car and see some of the work, you won't ever appreciate it. It's not everybody's taste, but I think it's bloody fantastic. Next video I'll do will be of the inside. But before I go, proof of the pudding is in the eating. There you go. Not bad at all. Thanks, peeps. The next video will be of the inside, which I'm quite proud of, and of course maybe even me driving it down the road. Thanks a lot, peeps. Bye bye.